It's been said a bard's life can often be a hard life, or hill and jail to rove and always move from town to town. And some folk have inquired if ever we grow tired of ranging all around the world and never settling down.
But one should be a little wary of remaining stationary, 'cause comfortable is lovely, but it's not the way we grow. When life starts to unravel, pick up your pack and travel. You'll find a strange serenity in places you don't know. Wriggle-dee-dum-dee-doo-da-terry-o-dee. There's so much to see beyond the open door. It's outward bound we go. Who knows what we'll find that we've never found before. Adventures waiting further down the road. It's waiting for you further down the road. You've got no map for showing which direction you are going.
But why start on a journey if you know where it will end?
And once you recognize,
to anticipate surprise, you'll relish every twist and turn that lies around the bend. Wriggle-dee-dum-dee-doo-da-terry-o-dee-da-dee-da-dee. There's so much to see beyond the open door. It's outward bound we go. Who knows what we'll find that we've never found before. Adventures waiting further down the road. It's waiting for you further down the road. Lie-da-lie-da-lie-da-lie-da-lie. Lie-da-lie-da-lie-da-lie. Lie-da-da-lie-da-lie-da-lie-da-lie. La-da-da-lie-da-lie-da-lie. La-da-da-lie-da-lie-da-lie. The world has got its demons. There are many reasons why you'd find it harder to be brave than be afraid. But every life could use some danger. Every friend was once a stranger. Ships are safe in harbor, but that's not why ships are made.
Wriggle-dee-dum-dee-doo-da-terry-o-dee-da-dee. A fwit-da-dee-da-dee. There's so much to see beyond the open door. It's outward bound we go. Who knows what we'll find that we've never found before. Adventures waiting further down the road. It's waiting for you further down the road. Lie-da-lie-da-lie-da-lie-da-lie. Lie-da-lie-da-lie-da-lie. Lie-da-da-lie-da-lie-da-lie-da-lie. Ya-da-da-da-da-lie-da-lie-da-lie. Adventures waiting further down the road. Let's go! Lie-da-lie-da-lie-da-lie-da-lie. Lie-da-lie-da-lie-da-lie. Lie-da-lie-da-lie-da-lie-da-lie. La-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. La-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da.
So what I was going to say to you, Cubby, before we were so rudely interrupted.
Yeah, I want to hear this.
Okay, so this is the deep, dark, personal secret that I have to share with you.
Yeah, we're finally going to hear it. We're finally going to hear it.
I'm in a funk. It happens to the best of us. It happens to the worst of us. And really, it's all about how we deal with the funk. The funk. And I'm not talking about that groovy, P-funk or the C-funk or even the G-funk. I'm talking about the A-funk. That's right. Artistic funk.
Wait, what's the C-funk?
Oh, that's has to do with shanties, but they're like really funky.
C, because of P-funk.
Yeah.
Brilliant subversion of the pattern, actually. Bravo.
Yeah.
I thought you said you were in a funk, and you are tossing out bangers like that.
Oh, I appreciate that. You think I wrote that? Oh, no, I actually kind of riffed it from the Mighty Boosh. At the end of the old Greg episode, they had the guys playing the song, "We've got the funk. We've got the P-funk. We've got the C-funk." And they were all like doing it as a sea shanty.
Oh.
I was like,
So there
okay,
was the visual clue for that.
yeah.
Mighty Boosh is a great place to steal from because it's all really high quality, and chances are people aren't going to catch it.
Oh, yes. You actually are making me think of the first thing. So to kind of combat the funk, I'm outsourcing my brain here to my tablet. How to steal. And what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be making notes all night long and then kind of touch back on them a little bit. And I'm hoping we can kind of cover this topic in 1 hour or less, because it is a mighty topic about what to do when you've got to create, you've got to make a thing, you've got to do this project, you've got to make an art thing, you've got to make a product, you've got to do the thing. And you don't want to. You can't get motivated. Does this ever happen to you, Cubby?
Every time there is not a firm deadline expressed.
Exactly. So, do you have any thoughts on things you do off the top of your head? And then we can kind of go into the deeper dive of it.
Well, not to set the pace for kind of a Goofus and Gallant thing, but I find what works for me is to make everything rest emotionally on that. Like just have it so that if I don't do this thing that I don't want to do, it will destroy my life utterly. Just salt the earth.
Okay. So let's start with that one.
Then I get into like a blind panic. And I think the plan is to use the energy of the panic in a constructive way.
I love this. Okay. PAN. Panic. That I will go ahead and go on the record, Cubby, of saying that doesn't sound exactly healthy or sustainable.
Those are excellent points. I definitely agree. It is neither healthy nor sustainable. I feel like absolute garbage afterwards, whether I've completed it or not. And then I am left feeling considerably worse toward any other project that I need to do after that.
And then it turns into a self-replicating cycle of the shame spiral.
Yeah. Just anxiety and shame and dissociation.
So this is what not to do. And this is the thing that we all kind of do. And I am super guilty of that. I won't do anything unless there is a super looming deadline. So, and again, I'm not going to have the answers. Tonight's show is going to be a dialogue about, and hopefully we can kind of come away from tonight's show with a desire to actually make a thing and then go, hey, I did a thing and I feel a little bit better about myself right now. And it's not in a healthy and productive kind of way. So to that end, I will go and talk about a lot of the things like, okay, so I like will spend a lot of my time online wasting time quote quote looking for inspiration. I'm the it's awful. It's really bad. And I end up getting sucked into like these meme spirals. So right here we've got this R2 unit as a bad motivator. That's me. That's how I'm doing it. I'm looking at memes and I'm pointing at them and going, that's me. You get me, meme. That's not constructive. So
it is a really good meme though.
it's a good meme. And
This
I
is a
look
good
at
meme.
that meme and I spent half an hour tonight knowing the topic of this show, looking for that meme so that I could show it on the show. That's 30 minutes. Now I'm not gonna sit there and micromanage everything of every minute of my day, but I do give myself permission to fuck off. Right?
That's good.
And that kind of takes away from some of that. I take some of the wind out of the shame spiral. And here in Mab Lab, we have a saying, I'll say, man, I did nothing today. I did nothing today. I accomplished nothing. I did fuck all. And then the other person will say, that's good. You needed to do that. You got that done. And then I'm like, oh, okay, well, I don't feel like crap about that anymore. So there's another part to that story that I think of when I think about blacksmiths. I heard a story that a blacksmith, banging away on their anvil will sometimes throw, not every strike is the one that's making the thing. Sometimes those strikes are off to the side to keep that rhythm going, but they're always in that rhythm. So sometimes you have to fire a blank. Sometimes you have to make a thing that's crap. Sometimes you have to do nothing. Sometimes you have to change your location or look at something different, and it's you get into that rhythm because for people like you and myself who are ADHDers, who are exasperated with their own thought squirrel demons of sharks in the brain, praise Jawses. Sometimes you just got to throw it a body that was genetically engineered to be consumed by a shark. Okay, that got away from me, but I don't know.
I'm sorry. I am obsessed with genetic engineering, with the end result being the perfect shark treat. I guess it would have to be very delicious. People are not delicious to sharks. Mostly with shark attacks, they bite people and they spit them out because they're like, "Oh, you weren't a tuna fish. I want a tuna." So like it would actually be a lot of work to make a human that a shark wanted to
it doesn't
eat
have to
all
be
of.
Tuna. Maybe it could be like a big fat juicy tuna for my brain shark that I bred.
I guess from the perspective of sharks, tuna are genetically engineered to be eaten by sharks.
See, it's possible. And these are the brain tangents. You need a bigger shark. No, we don't. That's our problem. We have these brain sharks that have us, and I say us like I'm including you in this story, but you can always say, no, that's not me. The brain sharks are second guessing, doubtful. They eat my brain and they fill my brain with holes that make me go, I don't know. And then I'm like, it's a fight or flight, isn't it?
See, that is a really good analogy. I heard brain sharks and I thought that was just an analogy for how thought happened. Like, it's kind of like there are a bunch of sharks in a space that's not large enough for them, and they just keep bumping into each other and then freaking out and roiling. So, like, I would say that is a good description of my process.
Do I need a bigger shark? The answer is probably no, because the sharks are not a good thing in my brain. I mean, they could be, but they're not.
Well, I mean, sharks are a very good thing. I mean, predators are important to ecosystems. So like, and the brain sharks, as you describe them, kind of work in the same way. It is your brain trying to protect you, but it's wrong. And it doesn't understand the danger. It has a very bad concept of what the actual danger is and what the solution is. So all of its attempts to help are terrible and just bite holes in the boat. But the sharks have a role. They have a purpose.
Brain sharks. Good or evil? Or
Well, they're bad when they get out of control. When they start. Yeah, we need brain mimic octobades.
Ooh, brain minnows, brain flotsam. I am loving these ideas.
I have a lot of brain flotsam and Jetson.
What's the
And
difference?
login, because there's a third one. Sorry.
Tell me the difference between all of them.
Flotsam is the result of a collision. Jetson was thrown overboard, and login is goods that were thrown overboard with the specific and marked in a way to specifically indicate the intention of coming back for them.
So like a bottle? Oh no, like a buoy or a crab pot?
Well, technically, there are 3 legal designations of cargoes found floating.
Huh.
I'm pretty sure I didn't make that up. No, I read that somewhere.
Brain minnows. I like brain minnows. Those are like little fleeting thoughts. I would say that if you can catch one, it may be sustainable. It may be like a bite. It may be even too small to use as bait.
Well, minnows do make good bait, though.
Sometimes they're too small even for bait. And sometimes they're like bad bait. I don't know. I speak as though I know. I do not know.
Well, I'm just saying, like, minnows are a great analogy for just having a bunch of competing thoughts, because it's not really a whole, but there's a lot to it. But you can take one and use it to get to a fully fledged idea.
Yeah. I am loving this. We are brain maritime engineers. Brain boats.
I could use some brain stevedores. Just come and take the thoughts out of my brain.
That's the pensive from the young wizarding school thing. Wizards Something like that. They would take the brains out. Therapists. Ooh, that's what they are. But yeah, all right. So I'm not going to go to a therapist and go, okay, so I've got a bunch of little ideas that I don't even know how to move forward on any of them. What do I even do? I don't even know. I am paralyzed with thoughts. I am paralyzed with, okay, yeah, all right. That does sound like a therapist conversation.
Well,
yeah.
I mean, that is a therapist conversation, but like one of the problems with funk, and it's a big problem, but there's burnout.
And that's kind of like what I was talking about with throwing that that hammer strike away. Sometimes you got to do that. When you are working the blacksmith and you're like,
Yeah.
kicking, 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 sometimes you have to throw away. Well, no, that's, I guess in that metaphor, it would be making crap because it ain't. I got to tell you, do you know the Bindlestiff family circus? Do you know Keith Bindlestiff?
No, I do not.
Um,
Only by reputation.
They are still working. Part of the neo vaudeville. They are the people that brought circus back to like the everyman, as opposed to it being the Ringling Brothers was the only kind of circus you could do. So I was a huge fan of Keith Bindlestiff for a long time, and I did a show, and he was there. And after the show, I was talking to him, and I was still kind of a baby performer, but I was still really excited that I'm talking to Keith Bindlestiff. And he said something to me that I've never, ever forgotten. He said, well, you know, your first 100 shows are going to suck. And I was like, oh. And at first you're like, oh, fuck it. And then I'm like, wait a minute, that's kind of liberating. I don't have to hold myself to that standard of this imaginary perfection, a caliber of what I eventually do become. But now, you know, it's like knowing that I can suck sometimes is quite freeing.
And it's nice to view sucking in a different way, because usually we're just, you know, taught that if you don't succeed, that's it. It's over. Maybe you shouldn't even try. But look, in improv, there's a really similar concept, which is you have 1,000 bad improv scenes in you, and you've got to get rid of them. You got to get them out of you before you can get to the good improv scenes that you have in you.
I have a meme for this. So things that are perfect are dead things, empty things, a silence beyond change or challenge, an endpoint or blank page. You are a messy, wonderful thing, an impossible thing made of iron, rainwater, meat, and electricity, a dream with teeth. You are too good for perfection.
That is wonderful. Yeah.
So I like the flawed, right? And then I say that, and I got really upset with myself today. I've been making these, I'm calling them glitter bobs.
That is a great name.
I've been making these, and you're not going to be able to see anything anyway. And you probably can't tell. But the resin is off center.
I can kind of see that. I wouldn't have noticed if you hadn't mentioned it.
So what had happened was it was a sunny day, and I decided I was going to thank you. I decided I was going to, call it finished, because I've been making them like one at a time. And each little drop of glitter on here has been very intentionally placed. They're not like, I just spatter glitter on there. I'm like, okay, I want this dot there. I want that dot there. I want this blob to be this. And so it takes all day to make one. And I went to put the resin top coat on, and it was a sunny day, and sunlight was hitting the thing as I was pouring the resin out. And it made it super lumpy and clumpy because the UV from sunlight was curing the resin almost as fast as I could pour it.
Oh.
I was so mad. Not mad, but I was like, I think the word was sad, to use a simple word. And I'm like, I spent way too much time on this one. Oh, fuck. And then I spent like another half an hour sanding it down, trying to fix it, trying to get it like down to like the end bottom. And this is the fixed version. I put another layer of resin on top of it, and it, kind of smoothed it out. But it's, I can still see the error. I can still see it.
Yeah, I mean, you can see it, but that's honestly, that's reminds me of a really important thing to remind yourself of and to keep in mind, which is when you are in the thick of it, all you see are the problems, because that's what you need to see. So sometimes there is nothing better than just whatever you're working on and you hate it and it's irritating, but just show it to someone.
I'm showing it to you guys.
And we love it.
You guys are cool, but that's the thing. It's okay. So then there's this other thing. Turn your mistakes into art. Yes, I actually do live by that. Exactly. And it's like, you can't edit a blank page. And you guys are absolutely right on all of these things. And it's that messy imperfection that makes it appealing. You don't want a thing that looks like it was mass produced. You want a thing that looks like it was made by a person's hand.
When I was in college, one of my professors, honestly, the only professor I respected in the theater department, used to mention that, I believe she mentioned the actual tribe, but when they make art, they make an intentional flaw.
I've heard this. I feel like it's an urban legend, but I am okay with that.
It's a good story.
Yeah.
But the thought is the flaw is the only place a soul can enter. So anything perfect is soulless.
And, here's the other thing, Cubby. I get more like all wrapped into my head, but why can't I just pretend? And this is like next level disassociating. This is reassociating as someone else for a minute. What do you say? I want to try that.
Like, just go all the way through it.
Just keep going. And it'd be like, instead of myself going, guys suck and I hate this and I'm the worst and God, why do I even try? And all those things that, I don't know, maybe I've said maybe once or twice to myself. Like, why don't I just pretend I'm Cubby talking to me? And be like, you are so talented, Mab. You're my favorite person. I love you, Mab. I know you were talking about the cat earlier, but I still think I still think you love me too, and I'm okay with that. So,
I know you love me, Mab. I'm just, for the record, so everyone knows what we're talking about. My only point was that Murder Beast is the only person who could possibly be called the cutest, because it's just no competition.
Before the show, I didn't have my camera on, and I didn't even have the laptop open in front of me, and I was talking to Murder Beast, and I was like, "Oh, you're the cutest. I love you. You're my favorite." And Cubby's like, "Thank you." But you're talking about Murder Beast. So that's what happened. Your flaws are your fingerprints that you leave behind for the next person to discover.
I hate leaving fingerprints behind. I'm so anxious about. No, I'm kidding. Actually, there is a little voice in me that's saying that, and I find that part of my brain kind of funny. I'm like, you poor. Of course you're worried about that, you poor anxious.
I don't know if you can see this one. This one was another mistake one. And you can kind of see the uneven. I haven't sanded this one down because I kind of fixed it a little bit, but it's still an uneven top. And then you can kind of see here where the resin leaked out onto the top of the thing.
Oh.
Because it wasn't lying completely even, or I was like poking around with it too much and it overflowed and I didn't notice until too late. But you can see how fucking beautiful these things are. God,
It's so pretty.
and I was really mad at this one because I don't even know where to begin to fix this. Like you can kind of see, you can see how uneven it is on the top. Do I try to sand this? I don't know.
I'm gonna be honest, I've never actually worked with resin.
But you can sand it down.
Yeah. I
And
just
then-
like I don't know how much work that would be for you, so
Yeah.
I definitely don't have an opinion. That is a tough decision.
I'll let you guys tell me what to do. Because sometimes I need people to tell me what to do. Thank you. They are shiny. And there's so few of us here, but I will tell you the secret. Do you know what this is? This is nail polish. I painted these up with nail polish. Really amazing and beautiful nail polish.
Oh wow.
And then not even gel, not even acrylic. Just freaking nail polish. And no, I didn't torch it. They're so small. You don't need to torch them. Make 2 dozen more. I don't know if I can make 2 dozen more. These, like I said, they take a while. Yeah, it's nail polish. Don't tell anyone. I want to touch base on the blank page. Too big. Cut it off at 80%. Yes, I love that. I do that. Watch this. This is my page. I just zoom in and then kind of work in little sections. And then I block off ideas. And if Stephen Eldritch or Sally or Stephen Eldritch are here, they were with me when I was making notes for our D&D adventures. Thanks, Jen Goro. I will not sand it because it actually feels really interesting to my hand to touch it and rub on it.
It looks like it feels nice.
Yeah, but well, the smooth ones are nice and smooth, right? But this
But
one has like texture.
The smooth and bumpy looks nice.
Yeah, the smooth and bumpy is it's like kind of like a worry stone, if you guys remember those.
Yes. I have a lot of fidgety toy things. I like to keep abreast of what's out there.
Work on the small area. Work on the small project. Work on a part of it. Work on like a little section. It doesn't have to be done. It could be small steps. In college,
Progress.
I was at art school and I was doing a thing with colored pencils. And a friend of mine, kind of came over during the week. And then like at the end, while I was working on it, and he says, and I always remember this, he's like, I can't wrap my brain around how in one day you get this much done. And then in another day you get this much done. And I don't know how or why I do that either. But it's like, that's as much as it needed to be done that day. That's as much as I was working on that day.
Yeah. I mean, some parts take longer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, it was like, how can you work on this one face? And then the other day it was like all of the trees. And I was like, oh, okay, well, I think about faces more. That's probably
Well,
what
I mean, to be honest, there's a lot more work in a face than in a forest.
is there?
Yeah.
Hmm.
I don't know. With my approach, because when you say sometimes it's a huge area, sometimes it's a little, I'm like, well, like, some stuff is easy to cover. Like, it's with painting, sometimes you get a technique that works really good, and that's what that needs. And something like a face, though, needs a lot of fine tuning and fiddly bits.
Mm-hmm.
And BLC Blondie brought up another good tip.
That's the blacksmith strike that I'm thinking of too.
Yes.
It's the same kind of concept. There is a tool out there that someone recommended to me, and I used it for like a hot minute, which is to say, like, it never stuck, but I like the concept of it. What is it called? Goblin Tools. Is anyone here familiar with Goblin Tools? And it's not a kink thing. It's a...
I have absolutely heard this theory before, but I can't remember it.
It's a thing that does AI. Like, you put a list of what you want to do, or you put a thing, you make a list. I know, right? Sorry, London Fog.
I'm thinking of cow
tasks. Breaks it down into tasks. It's an AI thing.
Oh.
But like, here's the bite. These are words that I always try to remember. Bite, snack, meal. And this is a thing that we use in website marketing. Oh yeah, it's called Cow Tools. Thank you, Victorian London Fog. Thank you. Cow Tools is like the one thing, but Goblin Tools, I think, is the whole brand, or maybe it's vice versa. But bite, snack, meal, right, is 3 different levels of information, or 3 different levels of a thing, right?
Yeah.
Like, you take a snack, make a meal. You want to present information in bite that leads people to take a snack, that leads people to have a meal. But we can do this concept of bite, snack, meal with ourselves and go, okay, this project is the meal. This is the meal. Get a job is the meal. Sell a bunch of stuff is the meal. Okay, the snack is... I don't know. Like, that's the tricky part. And maybe that's what Cow Tools can help you figure out, is like, oh, okay, apply to a bunch of stuff. And then the bite is make a thing. Just give them an amuse bouche. I love that word.
Well, you know, the meal is the bigger project, and every meal is made out of bites.
Yeah.
It's like, how do you eat an elephant?
You start at the tail? That's it.
One bite at a time.
That was oversharing. I shouldn't have said that.
The tail makes a great soup, actually. There's a lot of good connective tissue in there. For all you poachers. Elephants are probably on our level for sentience, so it would be deeply immoral to eat elephants. No, it would be deeply immoral to kill an elephant just to eat it.
But if it was like an asshole elephant that's murdering people and is being sentenced to die in a very humanely way, and then they are running out of elephant graveyards and they've got no place to actually bury it, I would say consumption is fair at that point.
Yeah, as soon as you got a dead elephant, it's like, who's gonna miss a little bit of it?
Thank you, Fog. This is exactly right. That's Thank you for putting words. Oh, someone knows how to work words. I can do interpretive dance. Right. Snack. Meal. But yeah, no, this is way better.
Although that is another good reminder that, like, sometimes we need help. And, like, even if it's just explaining what you're thinking to someone and getting them to find the... I absolutely clicked the wrong comment for the point I was going to make, but I'm going... Sometimes they find the perfect phrasing for that.
We do need help. You know, we are
There's a lot of chaff that comes with the wheat.
in this together. Fun fact, nobody gets out alive.
Of what?
Life.
Oh, I thought it was like a really good haunted house.
Nobody gets out of this simulation we call life. That was a bad pun, and you should feel bad. I don't even know what pun you're talking about.
Oh, I can show you.
Oh.
This, because it is a bad pun.
Oh. 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 Oh.
It was pretty good.
We don't create in a vacuum. That's a really good thing. Let's talk about the inspiration thing. We don't create in a vacuum. And for me, my concept of ideas or creativity are there's a mommy idea and a daddy idea, and then 3 cousin ideas that are also mommy and daddy ideas. And when they love each other very much, they each contribute a part of their idea DNA and create a new wonderful baby idea that grows up to be a wonderful new concept that eventually makes its own little baby ideas on and so on. So when people say there are no new ideas in the world, I think you live in a very sterile world where you don't know how to have an evolution of an idea.
I'm like, who cares?
You've been
Ideas
an
are never
idea
where
donor.
it's at.
But here's the thing, Cubby. You've been an idea donor. This is the muse factor.
Oh, I love ideas. They're a lot of fun, but like, it's the idea will ultimately be the least important part. And people put way too much importance in the idea. And it's not all that. It's the commitment, the doing of it. That's where the magic is.
I'm writing this one down. That was a good one. The idea is the least important part.
Yeah, I actually, funny enough, when I was at clown school, we had a big discussion about exactly that. Somebody mentioned a friend of theirs that had a busking act involving an elasticized ladder that would collapse when they tried to climb it. And they were very upset because somebody in the idea also started doing something like that. And the person who was telling it was like, so I asked my friend, well, did you learn anything from seeing what they did with it?
Right? I always say that.
Yeah.
Even those bad seed ideas, Zalani, even those bad seed ideas are a thing that can contribute that iDNA. Thank you again, Fog, for that great concept. The iDNA.
Oh, that's good.
I know, I love it. That can contribute to this new thing, right? This new and yeah, I love it. I love it. What not to do is an idea.
Oh, bad idea. I mean, bad ideas are so much fun. I love having bad
especially
ideas.
And it's the commitment to the concept, and it's anything's funny if you repeat it 100 times, and getting to that 100, that's a very difficult thing, and driving that point home is great, and yeah.
I always do what I shouldn't.
So this musician friend of mine was playing this song, and he felt bad because it was a cover of a song that was his own arrangement, it was his own interpretation, but it was basically, in his mind, a cover of the song. And I hadn't heard the song before, so I was like, well, what's the original sound like? Thinking it would sound, I would be able to recognize the one-to-one I couldn't recognize a one-to-one comparison. It was so far evolved from this original cover song that he had conceptualized that it was so beautiful and so unique and wonderful. And that's a great example.
I love a cover. I love any art that is in conversation with other art, and a cover always is.
I like that phrase. In conversation with other art. How much other art do you consume?
I don't know.
That's a thing I think about.
I think it varies a lot. I feel bad for how rarely I see theater, because I do love the art of acting and I do enjoy watching people do it, but it's a lot.
When in college makeup class for theater, this is where I learned the clip book. Have you heard of clip books before? I do need to know how there's an elephant in my fridge.
Well, I always just look for footprints in the Jell-O.
Oh yeah, that'll do it. But what if I don't have Jell-O? I guess butter. Would there be footprints in the butter?
Yeah.
Okay. It could be. I could make it. Anyways,
that would be amazing to have a big throw that's just scribbled notes about creating an art.
Clip books. Let's talk about those. Spelled correctly and not with a B. Yeah, we all have those brains, don't we? Here I am trying to erase. All right, clip book.
Yeah, what is a clip book?
So back in the day when magazines were a thing that I regularly consumed, I would go get to people dropped off old fashion magazines or National Geographics or whatever, anything. And I would thumb through it. And if there was a visual of something that struck me in some way, I would cut it out and paste it into a notebook. So whether it was the lighting of this shot, the fact that I could see wrinkles so clearly on this person, the way that the eyeliner is on this picture, it's called a clip book. And originally I was taught how to do this as a, you collect makeup looks and fashion looks. And a lot of these people, oh yeah, okay. I hear it now. Why not both? But now I'm thinking about my other book. We call that a spank bank. The clip book.
How do you find that book, though?
You make it yourself.
No, the other book. It must be so hard to find.
Do you not collect pornography? It's so easy. So nowadays,
I'm making a joke as a man. about how difficult I assume it would be to find.
Another I would have accepted also, I don't believe they exist. It's a myth.
I'm sorry, please continue to about clip books though.
Oh my God, we're 12. Yeah. So nowadays, I just have like folders on my computer that I'll take screenshots of things. And then there's also Pinterest, but that stopped being what I wanted it to be, but it kind of was sort of that, but a little bit different. Pinterest had like links and stuff, but I would regularly thumb through my clip book to just kind of get inspiration, of like, and I'm not trying to copy a thing. I go,
no, but you put it in there because you need to see it and it's inspiring. I understand completely. I actually use the same system, only when I learned it, the teacher told me it called it a morgue.
Like a mood board or something, or a morgue?
A morgue.
Like for where dead bodies go?
Yeah. And the morgue, it's organized and it's just shots that are inspiring, pieces of art that are organized by theme. So like if something comes up related to that, you grab that folder and you can look through it and just kind of like let the ideas wash over you.
Right.
I also have lots of computer folders filled with images that are inspiring.
Oh, wow. Oh, see, and it's like, I appreciate the concept of Pinterest, but I ended up using like my Google Photos hard drive, not because I just wanted the images. But yeah, Kara, that's crazy. I'm so sorry. Maybe, I used the Pinterest when I was trying to design specific costume concepts or when I was working on the midway, and I needed to save the links of the sources so that like it was me going, I need to buy this resource. These is my options of the things. So that's kind of how I ended up using Pinterest. But I think it could also be done as like a clipboard or a morgue, or I've also heard it kind of called as a mood board, but that tends to be for one thing.
Yeah. Pinterest, I've heard, are great for mood board things. That's not super how Pinterest has never fit how I think.
Yeah, same.
So I've always been vaguely irritated at it because I'll often do searches for images for my morgue. And if it's a Pinterest hit, it will have no information about the image.
Really? I always tried to make sure I saved the page that it came from. Okay, that was me being a responsible Pinterester.
Yeah, but like a lot of Pinterest results are just the image with no, and I'm like, but I want to know what year this is.
I Google image search.
Yeah, I'm not completely new at the internet. I've done some reverse GIS. But there's a limit to how much work you want to do verifying one piece of for the morgue that you're literally just going to throw into a folder until you need it.
Yeah, that's fair.
And also, I'm just going to say I hate Pinterest now.
Yeah, after that, reading that comment just is like, oh, geez.
It's filled with scammers, and they have very bad moderation.
Yeah, and I agree. And it's a lot of, nowadays it's all advertisements. And I was like, advertisements to buy this, buy that, buy. And that's what I think of Pinterest is now. It's a thing to go for buying things. But yeah.
Well, you can buy through Pinterest now.
Yeah. Great.
Yeah.
Awesome. That'll fix it. I want to talk about the sketchbook. I have gone back and looked at my sketchbooks and I haven't done any sketchbooks. Like right now, this is the closest thing I have to like a sketchbook. I kind of have like, I purchased a book recently, and by recently, I mean a year and a half ago, maybe during the pandemic. Purchased this thing from the dollar store in hopes of making sketches, which it did. This is the earlier concept of Nobody.
Oh,
If you guys know Nobody. Actually ended up being very similar to that. Can't read what that is. The snooze ray. Don't worry about So I always like write notes in there and you know, things to make, I will sign further, like fans. And it's like, you don't have to have your sketchbook be finished. Like I will start a thing off with writing words on a page and then kind of go, okay, well, where am I going with this? And then this ended up being like, a sketch of a thing that I don't think I have since done any artwork in this notebook. But that one little sketch ended up becoming this design here. That's where it started on the. But yeah, like don't tell yourself that that's got to be finished art. In fact, documenting your thoughts and just using it as a journal. And I say this, and I am not always really doing that. Use it as a journal to kind of write down some concepts and then build little small sketches from it and then go from there. And again, I say this and I keep thinking about my friend who does a journaling class. Jen Davies, Razor. She is an amazing artist. And I love her work, and I'll post a link on the Discord chat. But wow, just her journals are so impressive. Each one of them is just this amazing texture, multi-layered stamps, and just watercolors and charcoals and some metallic brushes and the things clipped and pasted on. And I'm like, I don't even know where to start. I'll just grab my tablet and hit it with like a paintbrush or something. I don't even know. So start with this is all I can say is just start with blocking a thing off and a concept.
Also,
word.
Like sketchbooks are not a place for finished art.
Yeah.
But if you don't like using it for the first iteration, that's fine. I don't sketch. I'm not good at the draw, but I have a sketch journal book that I keep ideas in. Like ideas for costumes, ideas for props, ideas for gags. And I just like to keep index cards with me. And when I have an idea, I can put it on an index card right away. And then if I like the idea, I'll take it from the index card and put it into the book.
The book. Oh, you glue it into the book, not a Rolodex.
No, I basically just re-sketch it out.
Yeah.
Which is good for me because I'm bad at drawing. So like usually the first iteration looks terrible.
I'm really not a good drawer either. I used to be way better.
Uh,
but I kind of stopped.
because it annoyed me when I had this like book of ideas and I didn't use it. I didn't put stuff in it. But I realized as long as I ran them through a filter first, it worked.
That is a really good way of looking at it.
So, to connect it back to an actual sketchbook, you can always like give yourself assignments for the sketchbook. Like,
but are you going to do them?
I don't know. I don't sketch. So
is this where the we're all in this together accountability, teamwork kind of thing helps?
yeah, always.
Will it? Will we do it together? Are we going to? Do you want to?
Do what? I'm confused. I'm sorry.
Are we going to hold each other accountable to give ourselves little art assignments?
Oh, I was saying that as like a relationship to have with the sketchbook itself.
Right. Are you going to do it?
Well, no, because I don't sketch.
That's fair. I respect that.
Like I don't iterate in that idea, in that manner.
I don't know, man. Like, I want to come out of this and be like, okay, let's do this. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Art assignments.
I mean, we could give everyone an art assignment and ourselves included, and then see what we have. I don't know, maybe Wednesday.
That's what I'm thinking.
Okay. Should we?
I like this idea. Art assignment.
It's a good idea.
And it's an actionable item.
Yes.
That comes from this session of an hour long of us, you, me, and everybody talking about motivation and getting things done. And this is the best possible outcome I could have possibly have imagined from tonight's show, which I didn't really know. I was stumped. Today was a funk day, and I was like, I don't know. But I knew I had to do the show. And so coming out of it with an assignment of 3, give me a piece of paper. Here's what I've got for you.
Okay.
Take a piece of paper, an 8.5 by 11 piece of paper. Break it, and you can spend as much time or as little time as you like, and break it into 4 sections. And you can either write words or pictures. PICTURES. Or you could photos, or of a thing that inspires. What do you think of that assignment?
So take a piece of paper, break it into 4 sections.
And 4 different things that inspire you. And it can be words. You could just write a word that inspires you, like Minnow was very inspiring tonight. And then, why Minnow? And then, or you could draw a picture and say, Minnow of a shot. You know, it doesn't have to be this, or it could be a picture, a photograph of something out there that like, this look was great. And then you could have 4 pictures of 4 things that just were like a clipbook.
Yeah.
So you're making 4 things that can be a clipbook concept.
Just like just 4 little sparks of inspiration.
4 sparks.
I love
that's
it.
A great name for it. 4 sparks. That's what I want to call it.
Okay.
Once again, you've inspired me. Thank you. And with that, my tablet is dying and my laptop's dying because I forgot to plug it in. But I want to say thank you so much to everybody for tuning in. And I'm going to put this, if you're not familiar with our Discord channel, let me see if I can do this. Discord. Did I do it? Yes. So it's not going to be a theme so much as the only theme is the spark. Something that makes you go, yeah, or invokes something in you that is inspiring. That's the theme. And I hope you're not even, that's the thing. You're not obligated to do this either. And I'm willing to share my work. You are absolutely not obligated.
Thank you. That's also if anyone feels inspired, but and forgets about it, gets distracted, like any of these, I would like us all to agree we are not going to give ourselves grief over that.
And if you can only see one thing that's going to spark you, that's enough.
Yeah.
But you're going to find, I think you're going to find that when you start looking, you're going to start seeing. And I like this. And you are a goddamn genius idea factory. I am glad, and I can't wait to see. I love all of you guys so much. And I need to know, Reverend Tommy, what's going to happen in a few more hours. Please tell me. I need to know. All right, so a few more hours would be 10, 11. Someone's leveling up. Wait. Oh, whose birthday? Is it yours, Reverend Tommy? Is it yours, Cubby? It's not mine. Whose birthday?
It's not. No, I just had a birthday.
Is it your birthday, Reverend Tommy? Good for you. You didn't die. You survived all this time.
Oh, happy Krampusnacht, everyone.
Oh, yeah. Were you born on Krampusnacht? No, you were born the day after Krampusnacht.
That's Krampus Day.
Yeah. Aw. Well, happy birthday, Reverend Tommy. A huge shout out to the moderator with the moderators. Okay, that got away from me.
The moderator with the mosterator.
Oh, there you go. You knew where I was going. That would be an assist.
Yeah. High five.
That is a valid idea.
Dear ideas.
Yeah. I thank you guys so much for tuning into Mab Labs tonight and helping us kind of work through some of the funk that happens with the creativity. It's a marathon, not a sprint. And I did have one more meme, and I can't remember what it was. Yeah, there you go. Give yourself permission to do it badly at first. Perfection doesn't exist.
Anything worth doing is worth doing poorly.
Yeah. And if you wait for perfection, you're never going to do it. So that was the last meme I had. So thank you guys so much for tuning in tonight and being here with me as we work through this. And Cubby, thank you so much.
Oh, hey, Ick.
Ick did Ick just do a show?
Oh, wait. Raid to Ick? Can we raid to Ick?
Can we raid Ick? You know how to make raids happen, don't you, Reverend Tommy? I believe in you. I don't know.
I believe in you too.
Yeah, let's do the raid. Let's do the raid. Let's do the raid. I don't know how to do it, but I believe in you. Let's do the raid. That'd be so cool. Yay! All right. I'm going to log off now so we can do the raid. Reverend Tommy, you say go and I'll do the thing. Just say go when it's time to go, okay, Reverend Tommy? Just say go when it's time to go. I'm ready. I'm ready. I got my finger on the button. Go. Okay, I'm hitting the button.